Han shot first. Hi everybody, welcome to Nighttime Nerd. Tonight we're going to talk about retconning. What is retconning? Retconning stands for retroactive continuity. Retconning is basically deliberately going back and changing facts in a serial work of fiction. In terms of Star Wars, it's going back to the movies and changing specific facts to fit a new narrative. One of the most famous or infamous examples of retconning in Star Wars would be in A New Hope in the cantina scene when Greedo, the alien, confronts the Han Solo in Mos Eisley. In the original version, the version before Disney acquired Star Wars, Han shot first. He fired first. After Disney acquired Star Wars, the scene was then changed to show that Greedo had actually fired first and Han was firing in self-defense. I believe the intention was to show that Han Solo was firing in self-defense and not firing first so that he would be seen as less of a scoundrel. I get why Disney's doing that, but since Star Wars, especially Episode 4, New Hope, is so iconic, it's very difficult to unsee, unlearn, or even, redo any of that. And I think that's why fans go so rabid when you touch that source material. This was a work of art that was, whether it's perfect or not, it has cemented itself in a lot of our minds, in terms of the way it is and the way it always will be. So to change some of that can be, weird and troubling to a lot of, hardcore fans. Does it change the character in the scene itself? I guess it depends on how you look at it, right? So I met Paul Blake, the actor who played Greedo, at a comic convention, and I chatted with him about this. But what's more interesting from that conversation, was the fact that ever since, he played Greedo, everything he signs is always green. And he's had a theme in his life now where a lot of green has kind of showed up, where every time he signs his name, green ink, green pen. So he has totally embraced, the green alien bounty hunter. And I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't know what to expect when meeting Paul Blake. I thought it would just be another Star Wars actor, he's got the Star Wars name, but, meeting him was super cool. I had actually wished I was, stayed longer to chat even more, because I can imagine how many stories he has, to being at the cantina, on that set, and all the other things that he could, all the other stories that he may have, about being there, and especially playing Greedo, a bounty hunter. There's been quite a bit of retconning in Disney ever since, Disney took over. Even George Lucas himself, before Disney came, was retconning a lot of, things in Star Wars. And, Star Wars itself, the expanded universe, some of it's been turned into canon, which is the official timeline, things that officially happened in the universe. And a lot of things have been, cast aside, and kind of ignored. As much as I can see this being troubling to a lot of fans, I understand the need to make sure you have control over the universe, and to kind of set the rules. For instance, there's sound in space. So, there's a lot of things that once you start down that path, that you're creating the rules for this universe. So you've got to stay consistent. So I understand why they do a lot of these things. And I get the motivations behind wanting the Han Solo's character to be more wholesome. But I think the folks that are affected, that are most bothered by it, will never forget the original as it is anyway. I think they'll always see A New Hope and that scene for what it is. And, you know, regardless of how many times they change it or whatever new formats, that scene's always going to be that for us. Whatever that scene becomes for the next generation of folks who watch the film, you know, they'll take it for theirs. And I think that's what art is. I think it's your interpretation of what it is. Even if there's retconning, and even if, you know, there's a deliberate action to try to change, you know, one's work, you know, and tinker with it after the fact. I think art is dynamic, and I think it's always changing. So whatever we took from it, from that version, you know, of especially this scene, will always be that version and understanding of it. So I think it's, you know, it's there for your enjoyment, and I'll always enjoy this scene. I'll always enjoy Star Wars, regardless of how much they retcon and how much they change or how much they adjust. I'll always remember, you know, the original version of how I saw things. So to me, at least, in the end, Han shot first. I'll see you in the next video.